Welcome to my channel, Dad Swag. My name is Matt. Now let's get this video rolling. For today's lesson, we will be going over special effects, voice changer, stickers, and filters. Hello YouTube and welcome back. Today we are going over special effects. If this is your first time joining us, we just want to welcome you. If you never had any experience with Youcut, I would strongly encourage you to go to our first video and start there, as this will make it a lot easier for you and you'll have a better understanding of how everything works. So in the last two videos, and more so the second video than the first, I do know there was some audio issues and all that, and I wanted to make sure that we get that corrected for this video and going forward. So I went on the internet, I did a bunch of research, I found an app that may be working better. I'm still in the testing phase with it, but from what I've seen, it has done a really good job. So hopefully this will improve the audio and everything and the whole experience of this video. And going forward, we can use that and not have so many issues. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to go ahead and click on that white circle with the orange plus within the middle of it there. And then since our project that we've been working on or have been always going back to is in the middle there, I'm going to go ahead and click on that middle box. Okay, so here we are with our 4 clips again. And I have, this is my front yard in there. However, there's no music or anything like that. I took all that out for this purpose here. So let's go ahead and we're going to just play this first clip here. This is my front yard. So if you saw in the beginning of this video, there was like a big explosion or some kind of magical thing in the very beginning here. And those are special effects that I'm adding into the video. They are honestly, guys, not that hard to add. I'm going to show you here how to do that real quick. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is, if you look at the bar at the top without selecting a video clip or any of that, you're going to see effects in that bar. We're going to go ahead and tap that, and you should be able to see on your screen too a little circle where I'm tapping at. And then we're presented with a bunch of different things we can add into our clip. So I mean, guys, they have a ton of options. With that being said, you can't so much customize the special effects. Pretty much with what they give you is what you're going to be limited to. So, I mean, there's still a lot of things you can do, but sometimes it takes a little bit of working with it to get really looking good in your video clip. And from the beginning of this video, when you saw it, I had to really, with the lightning, adding that in there, and a couple other things, kind of more or less keep on going back and forth until I found a spot that it looked pretty decent. And so, what we're going to do, and one of my favorite ones here, is if we go in Magic. So down at the bottom, they kind of classify or categorize what these special effects are. And so you could either scroll through, or you could just click on like retro, magic, mirror, any of these, and it just kind of quickly takes you there at that point. So let's see here. So the one I did was called Dreamy Mist. I really like that one. It's just a kind of a cool effect. So what we're going to do is, right above where all those effects are is your video clip, and we can slide that back and forth to wherever we want. Also, we can play the video clip.
This is my front yard.
And it kind of you can line up there exactly where you want to put that special effect. So I think what I want to do is I want to put probably just a little bit before the text comes up. So I have the marker or that orange line going up and down in the video clip, specifically where I want to start that special effect. Now, down below, once you find whatever effect you want, what you're going to do is you're going to put your finger on it, hold it there, and that's going to prolong how long you want that special effect to last for. Once you're say, hey, that's enough, just lift your finger up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And so I'm holding down that special effect. And I held down for, I guess, 1.3 seconds because that's what the time is on there. Now, I want to go ahead and click that orange check mark to save or say, yes, I did indeed want that. And you can see here then at the bottom, there's a purple line right below the blue text box indicating that that special effect is there. So if we play it from the beginning, the video.
This is my front yard.
You can see how that works out. So now if I say, hey, I need to edit that special effect a little bit, we can also do that as well. So let's go ahead. And this is just a little bit tricky on the phone. I mean, it's doable, guys, but it can be just a little tricky. What you want to try to do is tap that purple line. And sometimes my fingers are a little bit bigger, so sometimes I have to tap it a couple times to try to get exactly what I want there. Okay, now in our video clip, you may notice how there's the green selection here, or the portion of that video clip, that first video clip is in like a green transparency kind of color there. And so we're talking right in this area where it actually takes effect. So if we go ahead and we tap on that green there that indicates the special effect within the film there, it then highlights it in orange, and then we have the arrow to the left and to the right. And now if we just take one of those arrows and we tap on and hold down on it, we could drag it to the right or left to either make it the time longer on it or shorter, and we could just more position that exactly where we want that special effect. So I can take this, and what I'm doing is taking and holding the orange bar to the right hand side. I'm going to drag it to the right, and that special effect, now depending on what they give you, all of them are going to look a little different. So more than likely, if you drag it really long, it's going to keep on repeating itself. So they have like a certain amount of time each one. It's just going to keep on repeating and repeating and repeating. You'll see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to go ahead and push play. So my guess is it's going to probably happen 2 or 3 times. And it happened 2 times right there. So you can see. So maybe you want 2 of them. Maybe you want 1. So I think for this, what I really want is just 1 time of that explosion. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back at the 1.3 seconds, I believe it was. And I'll play it just to make sure that we got exactly the way we want it.
This is my front yard.
And that looks great. Okay, so I got that one at the beginning. Now, let's go ahead and do another special effect. And I think you saw at the beginning of clip 2, like there was in the clouds, it looks like clouds moving around or whatnot on top of what's already there. So if we go back to Magic, I believe it was under, actually I did what's called fog. So what I did in here was, I think I started like right in the middle of the transition, just kind of so it doesn't look so awkward. And this is why I was talking about, sometimes you gotta really try to hide these effects, because it's not like they gradually come in for the most part. Sometimes they're just either they're there or gone. And so sometimes it's just kind of sneaking it in. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is start it halfway through the transition. And I'm going to hold it down. And I'm holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it, and let go. Okay, so it's kind of going into the next clip, and I don't really want that. So what I can do is on that orange bar at the top again, I want to take it, hold it down to shorten the length of that special effect. So I think maybe there might look good. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and we're going to push play. That didn't look bad. Okay, so you see how it cut off there? That's kind of what I was talking about. Sometimes you gotta really hide these in. So we need to make it just a tad bit longer. So I want to go maybe halfway through as well, right about there. And basically why I'm doing that is I just want to make it look as realistic as possible. And sometimes it can be pretty difficult depending on the scenery and what you're trying to do. So it's just one of those, you're going to have to really spend some time on it, work with it, and try to make it look realistic. So we'll go ahead here. That doesn't look terrible. And we're going to go forward. And I probably honestly could even go just a tad bit longer than that. So we'll go ahead here. I want to just drag it maybe right about there. And rather than play a whole thing, I'm just going to go back just a little ways and watch it here. And that looks okay, I guess. I mean, if I wanted to, guys, I could spend a little bit more time and make it like exactly perfect. But this is just more of give you guys an idea of what you need to do. So we have that blast, I forget what it's called, and then the fog going through. Now, there's some other things we can do, but let's go ahead and go back to the effects. So once again, the bar there with all the options to work on the clip. Let's go ahead and click on effects, and you'll see that circle while I'm tapping the screen on it. And there's just an endless amount of options. Some I think are going to be a lot easier to implement in the video than others. It really just comes down, what is your video? What are you trying to accomplish? And everything like that. So I'm just kind of more or less showing you a lot of things that I did within my video clips, just so kind of more or less it makes sense for you guys. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll do the lightning. And this is one of the things I'm going to go ahead and do it in a video clip, but it's not meant to look realistic. This is just more to show you how it works. So this is one of the things with Youcut. I wish they would probably do a little differently. You cannot overlap these specific effects over each other. So like I can't have the fog and then have the lightning on top, both going at the same time. It only can do one at a time. So I don't know if they have plans on changing that in the future, but basically we gotta work with what they give us. So I still want to do the lightning, and actually maybe I still want to do the cloud. So what I'm going to do is I want to take out that fog, and the way I would take out one is I would select that effect, and then I don't, if you look above where all the effects are and below where the video clip is, that short one where you see all the effects, there's a trash can. So with that effect selected, so you have to click on it one time, you'll go ahead and that's going to be highlighted, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on the trash can. So right above Dreamy Mist, that special effect, there's a trash can there. I want to go ahead and just hit that one time, and now it took that special effect out. So now that that's out, I want to go ahead and add the lightning in it. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and just select that. And you can see like it's raining, lightning. And this is what I used for at the beginning of the clip. And what you saw in there is I not only I used this recording at the beginning, but which I believe I recorded 2, maybe 3 days ago outside. And then yesterday we had a severe thunderstorm warning in our area. So I went back out and recorded part of that too. Now, the storm at that time did not have any lightning or anything like that. It was just more of 60-mile-per-hour winds. And after that hit, then the rain came. That's why I shut off the video and went inside. Then once the rain started pouring down, I didn't want to get the camera or my phone wet or anything like that. So what I did is I went ahead, kind of took out parts of that video I didn't want to see. And then I had the music go through and I try to capture the moment. So with the storm building up and the music building up, I was able to time those out just right. I would implement things within the video to make it look really dramatic and all that. And I could probably spend a lot more time on it, even make it look better yet, but I thought it came out pretty good for what it was. So, but anyways, okay, so we had the lightning into it. And once again, we could do a lot better of a job, but this is just show you more or less how do you add it in, and then you guys can play around with it. So I added the lightning in, and to save it, we're going to go ahead and click on the orange check mark. And then we could go ahead and play that as well. And you can see there's no sound. Or no sound of the thunder then at that point. So that's one of the things, guys, where like that one website I showed you, the Uppbeat.io in video number 2. That's where that can really come in handy. So I did the lightning, but there was no thunder. I'm like, hey, to make this really sound good, I really need to add sound effects to it. So I went into Uppbeat.io, and for you guys, if you haven't watched the video number 2, it's Uppbeat.io, and you do have to create an account, but they have a free version of it and like a paid version. So with the free version, you're allowed to 10 downloads per month as of this video was being made. Now, they could change that in the future. I have no control over that, but that's what it is as of today. So I went in there. I went under special effects, and I believe they had one of storms or weather, something like that. And that's where I was able to find the thunder, sound clips, and all that. And so I played a bunch of them, and I found one that really worked good, and that's what I used. So I had the lightning effects go on, and then what I did is I took that thunder one. Now, they give you like 8 seconds, or sometimes they're longer than that. I didn't need all of that. So what I did is, from the video number 2, where I showed you how you can take sound effects and you can split them, make them shorter, fade in, fade out, I worked with that sound. So the thunder sound, I worked with it. I did a lot of fading in, fading out, shortening it up a little bit to get exactly what I wanted, and that kind of more or less matched up with the lightning effect to make it really look and sound real. So it's more of what you're going to be doing is just really concentrating on that portion there. So you're going to be stacking a lot of different effects, sound effects, and all that up with each other. You're going to be cutting them and just altering them to really making them make that video look realistic. So that's all we're going to do today for the special effects. I encourage you guys to go ahead and play around with that. Get yourself really familiar with it, because that can really change your video at that point. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do now is work with the voice changer. Now, this is also something really easy to do. So I think for this portion here, what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to the beginning of the video, and I went ahead and took out all the special effects, everything in there. So we're just left with the text. So we're right back pretty much where we began with at the beginning of this video. So in here, I say,
This is my front yard.
this is my front yard. And what I want to do here, let's go ahead and make this a whole lot more fun. So I'm going to go ahead and select this clip, and what we're going to do is actually just mute it. So to go ahead and do the voice changer, basically you're going to record yourself talking, and they give you several different options to be different characters in the background that will alter the voice and sound different when you go ahead and play it then. So since we went ahead and muted that clip, you won't hear me say, this is my front yard, like it every time we play this. And guys, I've heard that 1,000 times now, so it's kind of nice to get that muted there. So, so the way we're going to go ahead and get to that here, the bar at the top where we did the trim, the music, and all that now, let's go ahead and we're going to take our finger and scroll to the left. And eventually you're going to come to an option that says recorder. So let's go ahead and we're going to tap the recorder here, and then what you'll see is, once again, the video clip down there where we can go ahead and move it to the left or to the right to position it where we want to start the recording at. So I want to almost match it as when it first comes up, that text there. So basically my goal is to say, this is my front yard again, as that text is showing up. So we have the option to just record our normal voice, which I'll go ahead and do just for this purpose. And what I'm going to say is, this is my front yard. Okay, guys, so in doing this, I can't be using the microphone for two different applications. It runs into issues. And basically, I totally get that. It's meant for one specific thing. You can't record the same audio across two different apps. So I'm going to have to do this a little bit differently, but we can still get it done. But what I'm going to do is I will record me talking and what to select. Then I'm going to have to pause or stop the video, and I have to record it then, the screen and all that, without any audio or without using the microphone. So there might be portions of it you're not going to hear me say, like, this is my front yard. We'll just have to see how it goes. But it's really the only way I'm going to be able to do this. I may have some ideas of how I can kind of fake it, like I'm saying this is my front yard. But we'll just have to see how this goes. This is my front yard. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and from the beginning of the video, we'll play it to see what it sounds like here. This is my front yard. Okay, guys, so you can see how that was done. So to recap, basically what I did was you go into your record icon. So if I go back to the main screen and I click on the record icon at the top in that toolbar there, and then what I did was I pushed or clicked, I guess this is a phone, so it'd be pushed the microphone orange button there, and then I went ahead and recorded myself saying, this is my front yard. Once I was done with that, I went ahead and pushed the orange button again to stop it. Then to confirm that you're wanting to save that recording, you go ahead and you click the orange check mark at that point, which will then take you back to where you're editing the video and all that. So now what we're going to want to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete that audio that we just recorded. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and we're going to record the voice changer as a man. So this will make the voice a little bit deeper and all that. Granted, you'll have 3 more characters that you can also do on top of the man at that point. So let's go ahead and we'll select the man voice for the voice changer. Then we're going to go ahead and select the orange check mark to confirm that we're wanting that. And now I'm going to go ahead and say this is my front yard again. And when we go back to play it, it's going to come back a lot deeper at that point. This is my front yard. We'll go back to the beginning of that clip then and replay it so you can hear it.
This is my front yard.
Okay, so now you understand how that all happens at that point. And while I was going back and editing, I think I just want to cover one other thing real quick. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to show you how to get to everything once more. So at the top bar there, or the toolbar, let's go ahead and click on the record icon in that there. Now, you may have to scroll to the left a little bit to get there. And once you see that, go ahead and click on it. In order to change the sound of your character or whatever you want to do there, it will always be, or as of right now, it's in the lower left-hand corner. And typically, when you first go in there for the first time, it's going to look like this. So in the lower left-hand corner, go ahead and click on that circle with audio in the middle. And the 2 arrows, I guess, that form a circle. And then you're going to be presented with whatever character you want to change the voice as. So you'll go ahead, select whatever one you want, whether it's the man, woman, child, monster, or robot. And they may be adding more later on. I have no idea. But once you found the one you want, go ahead, select it. And then you're going to click the orange check mark. And then at that point is when you'll start recording. So that's how that's all done. And we'll go ahead and continue the next segment at this point. So now let's go ahead and make sure you're at the main editing screen at this point. And we're going to start using stickers. So we're going to cover that here now. So what we want to do in here is with none of the clips selected at the toolbar there with all your options, let's go ahead and click on stickers. So it's a picture of a smiley face there. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. So you may have seen in some of my previous videos where just random characters pop up, they do funny things or whatnot. And we have a ton of options in this. So one of the things I use for the stickers is the YouTube. So if we go ahead and type in YouTube, we can do a search for whatever we're really looking for. So in here, this is where you saw a lot of the animation and stuff that I used at the very end of my videos. So with that there, go ahead and select whatever one you want. But in this case, I think we're going to do the like, share, and subscribe. So I want to use that, and you can see kind of on the screen that it kind of outlined where it would be at. I do want to use that, so I'm going to go ahead and also then select the orange check mark, confirming that I do indeed want that one. Okay, so there's 2 things going on here. One, we have the spot or the location at the top in the screen there of the video of where that will be presented at. So we can move it once again, just like your text, wherever you want. You can change, the size of it and all that. So So let's go ahead and put in kind of the left hand corner here. We'll try and make that straight. And I kind of want to make it just a little bit big. There we go. And so I want it right about there. And so down at the editing portion there, you can see like it presented a new box that we've never done before. So what we want to do is wherever that box is, once you put the marker over that orange line over it, that's when you're going to start seeing it appear on the screen. So if you ever have to move it or whatnot, just make sure this orange marker's over this here, and that way you'll be able to see it move wherever you want. Now, I then can also, just like the music and all that, move that to wherever I want on the screen, and whatever settings I had originally saved it, like far as where the location on the screen, it's going to follow that too. All that will stay the same. And then I also, just like the music, have the option to make it longer, shorter, whatever I want to do there. Now, that's also very similar to effects that we did earlier, except for it's not going to do it on the video clip, but it'll actually give you a little box you can mess with at that point at the top. So if we go ahead and just, let's say we put it there, we'll put the marker or the orange line right in front of that, and we can see what's going to happen then to it. So one of the things that you'll find out, it's kind of like a video within itself. If I make that shorter, it won't be able to play the whole thing. Like, it'll cut it halfway through, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So see how it goes and it disappears. So you want to make sure you give it the full length of whatever you need in order for that whole clip to be played. But also, if I go too far, let's say if I make it like 8 seconds, it's going to re-loop or re-go back to some of the same portions that were already played. So the time in this is actually pretty critical, depending on which one is being played at that point. See how so you'll have to mess around with each one's a little different. Some may not matter as much as others, but in some you really do want the exact length that you need to get the best results in the end. So that was just one of them here, and I don't remember if it, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, and then let's go ahead and for fun, let's just do another one. So we'll go back into the stickers, and let's do, try and think, smiley. So we'll go ahead here, and you can see how it gives you smiley faces. So we can go ahead, we'll select whatever one we want, and then we'll select the check mark. And then once again, we can go ahead and play it. And voila. So now if I go back here, just like the other one, I can go ahead and move it to wherever I want on the screen. Just know though, when the screen's moving, it's going to look, I mean, your character or whatever you're using in there will stay in the same place, but it may be moving around. So that's another thing that reminds me that I need to show you one more actually. So let's go ahead and click on stickers again. In here we're going to do blur. So I believe it was in the second video you saw me blur some things out. That's because during the time of recording I was actually receiving text messages and all that. So we can go ahead and select or type in blur, then do a search and select one of the blurs that they give us here. And usually I do one of the top two. Sometimes I'll choose another one, but for most of the videos I did the top two. So let's do this one. So if I want to blur something out, and really it's no different than any of the other stickers, it just so happen to be a blurred option you can select there. We'll go ahead and hit the check mark again to confirm that we want it. Then we play it. It's a blur. So, like, if you have license plates on your vehicle, a lot of times I'll do on that. Just sensitive information, I will do that. Now, when you put that on something, you're going to have to move it with the video clip. So if your video clip's moving left and right, and you got something you're trying to blur out, you might have to do quite a few of these to make sure that it's not going to be seen. So that's pretty much it for the stickers, and we'll go ahead and do the filters next. Okay, so we're back at the main editing screen. I went ahead and removed the stickers off of there. So we're going to go ahead and do the filters next. So I'm going to go over where the cloud scene is in the clips there. And we're going to go ahead and choose filters. And what I'm going to do, maybe I want it dark. So we have different ones we can select for: warm, dark, film, I guess film 1, film 2. So there's a bunch of different options we can choose from. So basically you're going to go in and try to find one that you would like. Now, whatever your marker, that orange marker that goes up and down to let you know where you're at, whatever clip that is on, this is going to do that whole entire clip. You also have an option, just like what we did before with the transitions. So there's one check mark to the right that will just do the one clip. If you go over to the opposite side and choose the double check mark, that's going to do every single one of your clips to this filter. So for this purpose, we're just going to go ahead and do the one clip of the clouds, and we're going to make it dark. So I went ahead and selected dark, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose the check mark. So now, when I go ahead and I play over that clip, you can see how that changed everything at that point. So it's pretty basic, I would say. And also, just like when we muted the audio, down in the lower left-hand corner of that clip, it gives you a little picture of the filter symbol. So that's something you can mess around with too. It's not hard by any means. Now, one of the tricks behind this would be, let's say you have a clip and you're like, but I don't want that filter through the whole clip at that point. Well, there's a little thing, a thing you can do here, and let's see if I can original. So we'll do original and check mark. So let's say we're back. So basically we're back like we did nothing here. So let's say I want from right there to the end of that clip, only dark. What I can do is I can go ahead and select that clip, put a split in it, then put my marker over the area or the portion of the clip that I want, go back into filters, choose dark, and choose the check mark. And once I do that, it would just do that portion there. Now, above the check mark, if you look, there's a box there, and it looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It has a line through the middle, and it has like a outlined box on one side and a fully solid box on the other. And we can go ahead and tap that, and it'll show you a picture of what it looks like before and after kind of deal. So you kind of have an idea of how much is changing at that point. And then we have different things we can mess with, different settings down here too that you can play with to change the effects and everything like that too. So let's see here. So for shell, let's see if I can make it a little bit darker, and I don't know if that's coming through on the screen or not, but there's just filters you can play around with to have that change. So we'll go ahead and let's just save it right there. So let's play the portion where the clouds are. So it's going to go, then it's going to hit it, boom. Now it's the dark scene there. So that's just another option that you have if you would think that would make your video look better as well. So, well, guys, I think that is it for today. I know this video is getting kind of a little bit long and all that, but thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I believe I will still have a couple more videos on this, and we'll go over in more detail, but we covered quite a bit in this here. So if you've watched all 3 videos here, I think you'd be able to do quite a bit of editing and all that. And it's one of those you're just going to have a build up experience and everything. And once you got a little bit more time invested into it, you'll learn some new skill sets and you'll be making these videos quite easily. I know I actually did not get this app until I believe it was April or May of this year. And just in that short amount of time, I learned a ton here. So hopefully this will help speed it up for you, get you going. Once again, thank you so much. Feel free to leave comments in the YouTube video there. Be more happy to go over those. And if you guys have any video clips on YouTube as well, feel free to send those links in there and I'd be happy to watch them. So till next time, guys, take care and have fun editing.
Dad swag.